Here's what you can do right now to improve your property value, but also to have an absolute blast in your backyard. Number one, landscape lighting. I actually called my guy. I texted him on the way home from date night last night.
Sure.
So on the way home, we're talking about updating, repairing a little bit of backyard landscape lighting before daylight savings. Before it's dark, way too early in the evening, and we still want to be out there enjoying it, but we want the lighting. So downlights in the trees, uplights in the flower beds, pathways, things like that. Now's a good time to be thinking about that before it's like 5:45 p.m. and dark outside. That's one that's very affordable, depending on the size of your lot, the areas you want to light. Pretty low cost, very low voltage, not a big energy bill hit that makes the yard really pop. So landscape lighting is a big one. Also fire pits, things like that. Think about like what's an area that is currently yard that if it was a deck or patio or solid surface, you could get like massive amounts of increased value out of it. So do you just need some pavers, some stone, some flagstone, or is that a small deck addition that you could be thinking of now and start to really enjoy late October through freezing temperatures or through next spring or through even all the way through next summer? So those little bitty additional usable spaces, patios, covers, decks, walkways, things like that. Huge value add, not a huge expense, a lot of utility and resale value and joy and fun and connection with family and friends. Landscaping refresh, also did that. Talked to the guy who I usually buy my flowers from and bought like 10 flats of petunias. Now's a great time to be doing that so you can enjoy those fall flowers that can't handle the worst of the heat and that will be good maybe through one freeze, maybe up until that first freeze. So maybe 90-ish days of really beautiful flower stuff.
Do petunias like shade?
The answer is generally they can handle a good bit of sun, but they can't handle the worst heat.
Sure.
They can handle like if we get a little flare up of warmth again, but no, they don't want like that brutal all day hot 90 plus degree heat. And there's some other options, but we like, I don't want to get nerdy on this, but they bloom and then they die back and they bloom again and you can kind of pinch the dead heads off. You don't have to do that, but if you do it, you can get an almost constant blooming, pretty pinks and purples or whatever you like. I like the white ones a lot too for the next few months. So now's a great time to be doing that. Now's also a good time to do mulch. A lot of people will wait till the spring and just mulch for the heat of the summer. But if you'll do that now, those plants will last longer. They'll actually protect you from the freeze as well. They'll last longer into the winter. They'll bloom more. They'll hold more moisture. A lot of people neglect that once they think, oh, the heat's over. I don't need that anymore. It will help you now and it will benefit you next spring and summer as well. Think about drainage. We talk about this every year on the show and we usually shoot some videos on the YouTube channel about what's going to be muddy in 60 days that you could prepare for now. Either putting down those pavers or just throwing down some wood chips or maybe some sod so that that part of your yard, whether you have a big backyard or not, is not a mud pit and useless until June or July. So now's the time to be thinking, where might I want to be thinking about drainage, tuning up my irrigation. You might still want to irrigate until much later in the year because there's still some root growth that's going to benefit you next year. How are your gates and fences looking? Just thinking about that outdoor stuff at a time that's not as miserable to do that. Hot tip, now's a good time to start thinking about a garage clean out day too, as things aren't crazy hot. What about you? What gets you excited as you start getting towards cooler temps, outdoor time? What do you like?
Gosh, I'm trying to think of something different.
Do you like a fire pit?
Okay, yeah.
Do you have one?
I've got
like the big in-ground one.
Yeah, I have one that's like a fireplace.
What do y'all do? You just sit around it and stare at it, or do you guys do s'mores, or do you just
mostly sit and stare? The kids like to poke. Television. Yeah, it's nice to just enjoy I love the twinkle lights, like you mentioned.
Ian, pop quiz. When you take the dog out, do you have like a designated spot for that in the yard?
No.
Just the whole yard is his yard. Yeah.
I didn't train that way.
One thing to be thinking of to enjoy the yard.
As long as it's grass. I mean, you got to go on the grass.
One thing to be thinking about to enjoy the yard, but also for property value, is a dedicated pet area. A little turf area with some drainage. where you can just hose that off, or a separate fenced-in dog area, pet area. Okay, I know, Courtney, you share this. Ian, I think when you guys entertain, you're more front yard entertainers. I'm a backyard entertainer. What are the things you can do for property value and your personal joy and fun that are just like those hosting touches? I'm thinking like the upright propane heater. When people come over and see that, they're so much more inclined to spend time outside if it's a little chilly.
What do you think about hanging it from the roof? Those long ones.
I think those are great. I've also seen those like bug control incense sticks.
Yeah.
And there's propane bug control things. So thinking about Before we get that freeze, we still have bugs out there, even though the temperature is more comfortable. What can you do about that? Old school bug zapper is always good entertainment too. And then like just little fun touches, like a little drink station, a little s'mores kit.
Yeah, that's cute.
Where you're like, that costs $6, but when I had friends over, they like really loved it. Being outdoors, doing something you just don't normally do.
Projector. It's really fun.
Oh, the night after daylight savings when it gets dark early. That's like the one time a year you can do it and watch a movie before a reasonable bedtime with.
And it doesn't have to be like fancy install. It can just be on there and you just bring it out and set it out. It's really cool.
There's some cool phone projectors. You just throw a sheet up, but you do need a Bluetooth speaker, and sometimes you got to be plan ahead for that. A fan, we've got the patio fans. Okay, folks, those are some things we love to prepare the backyard, ideally the big backyard, but even if you don't have a big one, most of that applies still, to improve your property value.
Increase the joy.
But also just the fun and the joy and the laughter and the love of being out there. So I hope some of those are helpful for you.